This is the dawn of a new era in British karting. Over 550 drivers in 12 classes competing for victory over 18 race weekends. This is the Motorsport UK British Kart Championships. Whilton Mill Kart Club hosts the final weekend of the IAMI classes in the Motorsport UK British Kart Championships, and with a win on Saturday, Oliver Gray clinched the Junior X30 title. But with rain expected on Sunday, it'll still be an exciting end to the year.
It's been mixed bag of conditions this weekend, and it's obviously been slick tyre, dry tyre, but affecting the racing, I feel like we're very fast in both of them. So I think we could do well in both. We thought we had clinched the championship yesterday, but it's still open to debate today, so we're just racing as if it's a normal round and obviously going for the win.
Torrential rain for the Junior X30 final here at Whilton Mill. Joe Taylor and Alessandro Serenetti from Aaron Walker and Daryl Taylor, then Freddie Spindlow, Tom Levin, Alex Lee and Georgie Dimitrov, with an amazing opportunity for Oliver Gray to walk away as the British champion. Jake Sanson here with you in the pouring rain. Is this going to be lights out this time? Yes it is, and we're racing. Fantastic start of the first corner from Joe Taylor, and it looks as though he's going to be joined there by Aaron Walker, his teammate. They get through the first corner. Is everybody going to get through in one piece? So far, so good. Everybody knows the order, and they also know that you can't win the race on the first lap, but you can definitely lose it. Into Christmas for the first time. Is there enough space for everybody to squeeze through? 4 or 5 wide on the exit, and they are just about keeping it together, but in increments there's going to be a little bit of a squabble, and 2 or 3 drivers are going to need to concede the gap. They come through into Ashby, and there's a big incident. Goodness me, 5 or 6 drivers going in together there. Several of them able to get out of the war zone, but they're bogged down on the grass, and that looks like one of the Cosmic drivers that have been left at the back there. That could be Aaron Rashepi, the Swiss, but they've all managed to get going again, and there's more drama as a couple more have had an issue around the lap. So it's already getting very hectic, but up at the front it is Joe Taylor in front of, is that Dimitrov that's come through? That would be a big shot. Is Alessandro Serenetti back into second place thinking about it? They come through, and that's Taylor in front of Serenetti, and in third place that is now Spindlow in front of Aaron Walker. Then it's Levin, Lee, Taylor, Slater, Heading, and then it's McLean in front of Caden McQueen and Georgie Dimitrov from Aidan Neat, Reed, Bolger, Shaw, Anglish, Joyce, Meakin, Aaron J. Walker and Will Murdoch. A lot of standing water around the circuit. It's getting very hectic on the first couple of laps of racing in Junior X30. 13.5 minutes to go. It's going to be a very slow lap in these conditions. And out in front, Joe Taylor has done what he needed to do early doors. Alessandro Serenetti is there in second place for Fusion. Then in third, that is Freddie Spindlow, charging his way back to the front end of the field after an awkward weekend at the office. Fourth place for Walker. Then it's Levin, Lee, Daryl Taylor and JB Sleater from Sam Heading and Josh McLean in the top 10. Now, with this kind of performance, Caden McQueen is looking at 592 points. If he can continue to make gains in this race, he's going to cement himself as second in the Drivers' Championship. But Dimitrov is on 591 as things stand. McLean is on 586, Serenetti's on 585, and Joseph Taylor is on 583. It's very tight at the front end of the field in the driver's standings. From second downwards, we've got a mechanical flag. A mechanical flag for Marcus Littlewood. He must have picked up damage in that incident at Ashby on the first lap. So Marcus Littlewood's season has come to an end. Mechanical flag has put him to the back of the field. He may well decide to get in, fix whatever the problem is, as long as it is fixable, and then head back out onto the circuit again. But that's really cost him, as Caden McQueen goes wheel to wheel there with Sam Heading as they battle away for position. That's for 8th place. Has Caden McQueen made the move stick? He has now, up on the inside line. He had to work to get there, but he has now made the move stick. So he gets through into another position. Caden McQueen making progress. As Alessandro Serenetti tries desperately to close up on Joseph Taylor. Taylor, Serenetti, then it is Spindlow, and then we've got a 3-driver scrap. Caden McQueen gets up the inside for 7th place. Lovely move on the inside there of Alex Lee, the Coles Racing driver. So he gets through, and that is Caden McQueen, now up at a P7, and he is roaring through the field from 18th to 7th in just 3 laps. Caden McQueen is absolutely storming around this racetrack. can he get the victory? He certainly knows his way around this place. He is a champion in the Whilton Mill Kart Club, so he knows this circuit better than most, and he's absolutely hammering his way around this circuit. Has he just made the move around the outside? He has. He's got himself into 4th position. Caden McQueen's absolutely rapid around this Whilton Mill circuit. He knows it better than most, but this is an absolutely heart-stopping drive from Caden McQueen to charge his way back to the front. He's there in 4th position. He's got past Leben, so it is still Taylor up front. Then in 2nd it is Serenetti, 3rd it is Spindlow, and 4th now is Caden McQueen. This is an absolutely heroic drive, and he has come up 14 places in 4 laps. There are not many drivers who can say that over the course of the British Kart Championship season. Taylor, Serenetti, Spindlow. That's Daryl Taylor actually in 4th place. My apologies, through the commentary box window it's hard to distinguish them, but Taylor's made the move for 4th. McQueen is still in the top 6 though. He's in behind Leben. So Daryl Taylor going well in 4th, then it's Leben, then it's McQueen, although he's still hustling. And Daryl Taylor is all over the back of Freddie Spindlow for 3rd place. So Daryl Taylor is trying to make his move through. Running wide, Spindlow's gone out too wide, and that's Daryl Taylor for in a 3rd, but on the exit Spindlow gets him back. So Spindlow gets the undercut to get back into 3rd position. So Daryl Taylor now vulnerable from Tom Leben and Caden McQueen as they go down the hill into the left-hander. And onto the back straight once again. Caden McQueen still charging his way back to the front. Meanwhile, for 8th place, we've got Sam Heading versus Tyler Reed, and Alex Lee is currently rounding out the top 10 for the Coles Racing team. Up to the apex of the toe of the boot. Still going well, up at the front end. And in through the final bend onto the main straight. It is still Joseph Taylor looking to get as many points from this as humanly possible. He's going to end the season on 583 if he wins. From his point of view, it's just pride now. He wants to end the year on a high. So Taylor in front of Serenetti. Then in 3rd position, a move at the inside, that is Daryl Taylor trying to get through on the inside line there of Freddie Spindlow, and he can't quite make the move stick. He's trying his best to work it through, and he's there in 3rd position, and now trying to close up on them. That is Caden McQueen, having made his move into 5th position. Now he's going to try and sweep past both men as he gets an amazing draft out of Ashby. Up into 4th position, round the outside of Daryl Taylor comes Caden McQueen. Now he's in P4. Absolutely heroic from Caden McQueen. And now he's going to get all underneath Freddie Spindlow as he charges his way back. Well, he's a club champion, Caden McQueen. He knows this place as if it's his back garden, and he's having an absolutely sensational route here in the wet conditions of Whilton Mill. Down the drop, into the heel of the boot, and along the main straight again. This is going to be an amazing run from McQueen. Even if he can get to the top 3, it would be pretty special. And he's done it! 3rd position on Daryl Taylor. I didn't see that one out of the final turn. I was too busy looking at the timing screen, and he's already through into 3rd position. He's got just 2 men to catch, and they are 2 of the serial consistent lap scorers over the course of the season. Joe Taylor and Alessandro Serenetti. If anybody's going to do it, it's going to be Caden McQueen, but he's got 8.5 minutes. Jog on, head down, go for it. Meanwhile, there's a nice battle shaping up further back. Tom Leben trying to keep himself in the game, as Daryl Taylor has managed to get past Freddie Spindlow. So Daryl Taylor is through on Spindlow, and now Tom Leben is all over the back of the KR Sport driver, and he cuts through on the inside line. Spindlow manages to get him back on the switch though. So a great wheel-to-wheel from several drivers in the field as well. Just one retirement from the race, and that is Marcus Littlewood, who had the mechanical flag earlier, of course, and a non-starter in Chris Harden, the Dutchman. A real shame for him, as he was looking very strong over the course of the weekend. So Taylor, Serenetti and McQueen. Then it is Daryl Taylor in front of Freddie Spindlow and Tom Leben. Tyler Reed, by the way, has managed to get past Aaron Walker. And then it is Sam Heading from Alex Lee. Nice moves from Douglas Bolger, the Japanese star. He's come up to 11th now, back into his position in front of Will Murdoch. Murdoch is 12th. He started 30th. What a comeback from him as well. So some amazing racecraft from several drivers in the field. Murdoch is hovering all over the back of Douglas Bolger at the moment, as still Leben and Spindlow are swapping places. And they are having an amazing route, and it looks to me as though Will Murdoch has now cut through on Douglas Bolger, and the next man in is Georgi Dimitrov. So Georgi Dimitrov, having made his way into 13th place, dropped back down the order a little. Aidan Neat is next up in the Strawberry Racing Kart. So an amazing squabble in the midfield. 15th and 16th behind them is a good battle too. That's Josh McLean battling with Sam Shaw. In fact, I think Shaw's actually in front of McLean now. Then Anglis and Oliver Gray, who's just tootling around in 18th place. He doesn't need to win this race. He just needs to keep it lit and stay on the island, and he is going to get the title won. He's 21 points clear of Caden McQueen at the moment, with Alessandro Serenetti in second place, and looking likely to overtake Josh McLean in the standings. They're both going to have 5.85, but on countback, fourth in the standings will go the way of Serenetti. So out in front, it is Joe Taylor from Alessandro Serenetti, and they are in the second half of the race now. Caden McQueen is being hustled a little by Daryl Taylor, who's just following his every line, and that means that Taylor's going to pick up a great end to the season for him. Really solid effort from Daryl Taylor this one. This has been one of his most impressive performances, if not his most impressive performance in the season. Oh, the GP plate, Oliver Gray has been given a warning. Oliver Gray's been given a warning flag. Well, that is mighty, mighty dramatic. Has he gone off the circuit? Because the timing screen seems to suggest he hasn't completed the first sector. Well, either that or he's got a problem of some kind. I think Oliver Gray's got a faulty transponder, so something's not quite right there. I can't see his kart anywhere off the road. And the 11 has got a warning flag now as well. Now that is Casper Scooter, the pole, who's had an amazing weekend, was fastest in his time group before a penalty knocked him down the order in qualifying this morning. So Casper Scooter's been very impressive this weekend as well. Some great movements through the field. Some very frustrating races for some. Zach Meakin and Oscar Joyce are making good progress. Both have made up at least 5. It's been a tricky one for the likes of JP Slater and Dan Ginchard. Both of them struggling to hold position down the order. But there are some really intense battles in that midfield as drivers continue to squabble forward. They still want to pick up places. They still want to move forward. But the rain is absolutely pelting down. 5 minutes to go here at Whilton Mill. And 5 minutes more for Oliver Gray before he can claim the British Kart Championship in Junior X30. Joe Taylor, though, is being caught by Alessandro Serenetti up front as McQueen sets the fastest lap of the race, 5 seconds behind them. Now McQueen has got to hope that Serenetti's going to catch Joe Taylor closely enough that they're going to start battling, and if they do, then they're going to lose time to Caden McQueen. It's not done yet for him at all as he runs in third position. He's 5 seconds behind the leaders, but Serenetti's closing on Taylor, so if they start battling, they're going to lose time, and McQueen could catch them before the end of this race. He's currently looking at being the vice champion of Britain here, Caden McQueen. So far, so good. He just needs to keep it together. So a really exciting battle, but it could go right the way down to the wire. 4 minutes and 10 seconds on the clock. Serenetti hovering around all over the back of Joe Taylor. Caden McQueen chipping away at their advantage. Faster than both drivers in the first sector. Faster than both drivers in the second sector. And in the third sector, surely he's going to get that gap down from 5 seconds again. As they come through this time by, Caden McQueen has made up a couple of tenths of a second on the race leaders. But Serenetti is still rivaling Joe Taylor. The rain's still coming down. They're in the 1 minute lap times. Caden McQueen is in the 59s, so he is closing in on them, but he may run out of time. 3.5 minutes is a long time in karting, but with the gap being 4.8 seconds, that is, I think, a little bit too much time, unless the two leaders start scrapping for position. Serenetti's got time to close in on Taylor to make that happen. Daryl Taylor running a great race in fourth, a really solid effort. Credit too to Tyler Reid, who's up from 20th on the grid to 6th position. Great overtaking moves here at Whilton Mill. You've got to be a sly fox to do it, and Tyler Reid has definitely shown his hand of cards early to get himself back into the top 6. Rain pelting down here at Whilton Mill. It may be a brilliant day for Ducks, but they are making an absolutely amazing round of it. Still pushing on into that first corner. Joe Taylor hanging on in front of Serenetti. He's actually extended the gap a little bit with his personal best lap of the race there. But the fastest man on track is still the 28, and that is Daryl Taylor, in fact, not Caden McQueen, as Tyler Reid gets through into 5th position now. So Tyler Reid has made up 15 places and is now in P5. That's the same number of places made up as Caden McQueen. Meanwhile, Will Murdoch has got himself into the top 10, and that's from 30th on the grid. What a fight back from Will Murdoch. Again, despite that little hiccup on the first lap at Ashby, it's still fairly even amongst the drivers. Only one retirement up to this point so far. So it's still very tight in front. Joe Taylor is trying to pull away a little bit from Alessandro Serenetti, and that's really the only hope that Taylor has of hanging on to first position at the moment. Serenetti has been closing in on him steadily over time, but he's faster than him in the second sector. That's crucial in the more technical section of the course. Taylor's got the edge over Serenetti, and he's got him in the third sector as well. That's going to be crucial coming to the latter stages of this race. but it looks as though we have our championship finishing order pretty much set in stone now as the battle continues through to the last stages of the race. But Joe Taylor in front of Alessandro Serenetti and Caden McQueen, who has fought his way back from 20th on the grid to finish up, if he stays like this, in 18th on the grid, Caden McQueen. If he stays like this to finish up in 3rd. It's an absolutely majestic comeback from Caden McQueen, and he's still pushing, trying to get the gap down. He's brought it down to 4.5 seconds, so he's definitely gaining on the leaders. The problem is he's going to run out of time to catch up to them wholly and wholeheartedly. So through the toe of the boot, one last time in this section of the race, and there's a minute to go. So for the leaders, this is going to be the penultimate lap. Joe Taylor leading with confidence out in front of Alessandro Serenetti. But we saw what happened to Thomas Turner in the earlier final in Senior X30. He dropped it at oblivion while leading, and he's got to stay focused here, Joe Taylor. This would be a brilliant end to what has been a very tough season for Joseph Taylor. He's had his ups and downs all through the year, both here and in Europe, of course, as well. So this would be a nice end to the year for Joseph Taylor to hang on to it. But Alessandro Serenetti is still pushing hard, and Caden McQueen is ripping up the racetrack to try and close up. 2 warning flags go out now, a second one for Kasper Skuza, and the 81 of Zach Meekin is given one as well. So Zach Meekin in the war zone there, so he's got to stay very careful in the closing stages. But the checkered flag is just a lap away for our race leader Joe Taylor, whilst down in the middle of the field, Oliver Gray, finishing in 12th if he stays where he is set to become the British champion by 21 points to Caden McQueen. Over the line to start the last lap goes Joe Taylor. Serenetti still pushing, got the gap down to just under a second now. He's hoping he can get that little bit of time made up, but it is going to be tight to the flag as they come up to the hairpin for the last time into Christmas. And Taylor's being cautious. Serenetti's throwing caution to the winds as the rain intensifies again. Up to the final few corners of the lap, Joe Taylor's just skating in the braking zones, trying to keep himself on the road. Caden McQueen is absolutely charging, just in case there's an incident between the 2 guys up front. He's in 3rd, he's got the gap down to less than 3.5 seconds now. He's giving it everything, but he's going to run out of time as Joseph Taylor comes down the back straight for the last time with Alessandro Serenetti and Caden McQueen in pursuit. None of them are going to be champion, but they put on an amazing show for the last round of the season into the final turn, and Joseph Taylor has done the brilliance of this weekend. He has come through for the victory. Brilliant drive from Joseph Taylor. Second for Alessandro Serenetti, second in the championship for Caden McQueen in 3rd. A brilliant run. Taylor is 4th from Reed, Leben, Aaron Walker, Freddie Spindlow, Sam Heading, Will Murdoch and Douglas Bolger. But look back, because Oliver Gray in 12th on the road is now officially the British champion. Fantastic from the GP plate. He just needed to keep it on the island, and he's got the job done. By 21 points, Oliver Gray is the British Junior X30 champion. Fantastic display all season long. 13th is Sam Shaw to Aidan Neat and Georgie Dimitrov, then Blake Anglis and Josh McLean, Alex Lee and Zach Meekin, then Kasper Skuza and JP Slater, then Sam Hawthorne, Dan Ginshard, Dan Butterworth and Oscar Joyce, from Max Meir, Mikai Singh, Aaron Roshepi and Aaron Walker, then Alex Mooney, Ben Jenkins and Harvey Ryby. 1 retirement, Marcus Littlewood, 1 non-starter, Chris Harden. What a washout for the end of the season, but Joe Taylor dominates in style as Oliver Gray becomes British champion.
So Joseph Taylor grabbed the last win of the year and promptly scampered home, leaving Alessandro Serenetti and Caden McQueen to reflect on a positive end to the season.
Yeah, no, it was really challenging starting from 18th. The wet conditions made it really difficult to get through the pack. We managed to get through and have a really good start, which helped us a lot throughout the race. So we ended up getting into 3rd, and there was a really big gap from 3rd to 2nd. We was closing every lap, going faster and faster and faster throughout the race. But unfortunately there wasn't enough time. By the time I got to 3rd, they were too far ahead for us to catch. But no, I'd really like to thank my sponsors, Night Racer, Steaming Sheet Metal and Cowjam. Also the team, they've done a fantastic job all year. Yeah, Croc, really good. The kart was amazing all year as well. So thank you to my dad as well. So yeah, no, really good end to a junior career for me.
At the start I lost a position, which I then made back on a Christmas corner. Then I just tried catching up Joseph, but he was just too quick for the whole race. But I think it's a great way to end my junior career. So I'd just like to thank Fusion Motorsport, my dad, and everyone who's been supporting me and been behind me for the whole season.